Do another Talking Shit Tuesday. That's right, Talking Shit Tuesday on every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't think I take a break. I don't think I have had a day off, or at least missed a Talking Shit Tuesday. I don't know, in probably 2 or 3 years. Like that's all we do. We run our clocks by this show. Today we're going to talk about car show guys versus race car guys. Now, the unfortunate turn of events where this year SEMA is going on at the same time as World Cup. Now, obviously, two completely different crowds. But I honestly think that you can make the distinction that one crowd is probably doing better than the other in terms of being happy. Don't get me wrong. If you like weed, bad beer, diarrhea, and cold weather, I'm sure you're going to be happy as hell to be at World Cup. If you like just walking for 800 miles, but you're close to where you can pay for pussy, gamble, and great food, some of the people in SEMA might be seeing that as a positive. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about FFRE announcing that they have teamed up with Noonan, that's right, to make a billet coyote block as an alternative, and it looks to be a wet deck, or you can run coolant through it. Let's just say that, because a lot of people start getting a little weird about wet deck. It's not running through the cylinder head. It is running through the cylinder head, blah, 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 blah. But there is a water pump that actually works on this block. We'll talk about that. Pretty cool to see. We'll read their post that it was actually interesting. And then we're going to line up like what to expect this week. Like this week is going to be a busy week when it comes to World Cup and many other things. So we'll talk about that and many more things. And we'll also talk about the final day. Today is the final day. If you're an Amory member, if you're a subscriber, if you pay a monthly nut to be a member of the show, today's the last day to be able to enter the GT500 rear feed 2650 Magnuson Amory labeled blower. What we'll do is we'll probably put names in a little basket, turn it around, pick 3 out of a hat basically, or out of that basket. And then on Patreon, we will vote for the winner. We'll try to set up some kind of poll because I can keep track of people on Patreon voting as opposed to YouTube. YouTube, you can have bots and a bunch of bullshit, vote for you. So we'll talk about that and many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. But you know what does not suck? It's PMS. That's right. PMS is over there at SEMA. Check out their booth. I don't know where the fuck it's at, but it's a tiny little booth, and you're going to see Nick James there. You're going to ask him about, everything that's going on over there. He's even making some cold air intakes for Fox Body stuff. So the Fox Body is becoming the 55 Chevy / 68 Camaro of our generation. So very smart of him to get on board there. Don't got cookies. Cookies.com. Buy some cookies. Cookie dough. Cookies that have sexual names on them. The chick is hot. Maybe she'll fart on the dough. Stick some of that dough up in the crack. Fart on it. Put it in a box. Send it over here. Don'tMyGuyCookies.com. DinaHavePerformance.com. You're going to buy all your parts there. You're going to buy your injectors, your turbo systems, your superchargers, your Magnuson superchargers, your Whipples. Hopefully the rotors are Gen 8000s, latest and greatest non-China made parts. DinaHavePerformance.com. Mention the show. You might get a bit of a discount. PartsFarm.com. Used Mustang, Camaro, F-150, cranker pallets, engines, wheels, tires, little odds and ends. It's basically a junkyard, a high-end junkyard. They ship. Check them out, partsfarm.com. Mention the show. Might get a discount. Toyota Solution, Ramizana Toyota Solution. The F-150 is exploding over in Puerto Rico. They finally got their hands on the F-150, and these Puerto Ricans are finally getting on board. But they're just as stupid as Americans, and they're buying Shelby shit like it fucking matters. Good job, assholes. Toyota Solution and Bellac. Bellac Industries. Apparently, the Chinese Bellac market is exploding. Everyone is buying the fakes, but, the cops are going to look at your fake Bellacs and go, he doesn't sell drugs. He bought fake Bellacs. Why the hell are we going to pull him over? Those are Fellacs. I'm good. We're not going to pull that guy over. If you want to support the show and you want to buy something to show the support for the show, you're going to go to richmond.com/YDBT. You're going to get YDBT and Amory hats, YDBT and Amory trucker hats, Dolo curved, YDB and Amory flat. Shicey, it's wintertime. It's time to do the stick-up game with the YDBT Shiesty, Section 8 shirts and hoodies, Hush Money shirts and hoodies, ZR1, ZR50 shirts and hoodies, Booty Juice shirts and hoodies, Elote Juice, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, 85 to 86, 87 to 93, 1320 Didios at 1320, YDBT and Amory vertical shirts, YDBT horizontal shirts and hoodies, Amory horizontal shirts and hoodies, and we got some stickers. That's right, we got some stickers, so you can, whoa, you guys, you sons of bitches, you son of a bitch. I am gonna buy like 1,000 of those. Could you imagine? People are like, what's a ZR50? Bitch, apparently that took off again. It went viral twice. I haven't done shit, but apparently someone just the algorithm must have kicked in and they reshared that ZR1 video where I'm shutting the hood and the coyote is sticking out through the little window. Apparently it pissed people off all over again. Nick Notch, Laminate, Clean 93 GT, Tony the Truck Guy, Jay Judd, D-Rock Fox, B. Lavesh, Frank, Clint Stroke, Big Pops Beachside, Mr. Hustle, Christopher Dixon, Coyote Kelly, Bryson Witt putting up the links. Reflex, Andy Ali, Monty 40, Matt Oliver, Candice Lupus, John Bonanno, T.J. Sikorsky, Joe Jackson, 9-5, su puro pinche, 956 a la verga. Cause
956 a la verga.
That's right.
Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm gonna fuck you out right now, motherfucker.
Mustang Dennis, JD Swag, Rene Traculs, Robo Style, Tay Speaks, Semi-Retired, Street Racer, Ezekiel Palacios, Nardi Mercado, Ken McAllister, Arturo Hermosillo, Ace pendejo yo soy, Ace Rivera, Yusuf the Fish, Anthony Rafferty, 50 Stallion, De Guzman, CJ Cox, Rich, Blue Thunder, Connor, Q Belly, Dustin Garrison, Bryson with Jeff, Rever Racing the Fish, Blue Thunder, all the usual suspects. I'm not going to say everyone here because I'm going to be here all day talking all that shit. So, apparently, the scheduling this year was real interesting for SEMA and World Cup. Shout out to Lund Racing that they got to World Cup safely. Nice to see that they got to World Cup safely. They're pitted. So pitted. You know, just drop in, smack the lip, whoop-ha. They're pitted over in, I'm not going to say where because I want them to be left alone. But Parker, Devin, if Devin is not in the pits, he's in the bathroom. He seems to have some kind of issue there. And Senior, Junior going to be there, so check them out. Say hi, but really leave them alone. Let's be honest. If they're sitting around just hanging out, leave them alone. Please, please, please. If they come to you and they engage you, sure, but it is a stressful time up there. So what are we looking out for when it comes to at World Cup? Like, what are the goals? What are the metrics? Well, first of all, Lund Racing running 650s or better would be a personal best on a 6R80. It's using second gear leave, so it's doing a 2-3 shift, shifting once. So it's running Motec, still 3,300 pounds, so it'll be interesting to see if they run 650s or better. This is what I think is going to happen this weekend if the weather holds up. 420s in the 8th, 6.39 is my guess the best they're going to run, and they're going to go over 220 miles an hour. That is my guess based on some of the test data that they got over at not so great Bradenton Motorsports Park. They have great weather coming up during testing and qualifying. I don't know that Saturday and Sunday the weather's going to hold out, so this might go into Monday if the weather does not hold up. So that's what we're going to be looking out for. Also, we're going to be looking out for Craig Walls. That's right, Mr. Craig Walls, Billet Noonan himself. We're going to see, I think he's going to run the 295 or maybe the Warriors versus Tres Cuarto. I'm not 100% sure which one he's running, but we're going to be looking out for him to run in the low sixes, like 6-0. We're going to see the Amory logo next to his shit, so hopefully he goes rounds over there. Brett LaSala potentially running 5s is going to be a big one. This is why. If you see the clips from last year, that car went 608 at 230 something miles an hour, like 234 or something like that. So if they can get a run together and the Billet Noonan, because it is now Billet Noonan equipped with a stock GT350 cast head, I think it's got VCT. I think if that thing runs 5s, MMR is going to have to take out that gray car, dust it off. Let me dust off this gray car to let people know this thing still got it. And bust off another 560 just to let everyone know that people got a long way to go. But I think that's going to be great. So Lund Racing running quicker than 650 is something to look out for. Over 220. Craig Walls, Brett running potentially 5s. So it'll be interesting. The top 3 things to look out for there. SEMA, I'm not really looking to see anything great at SEMA unless Ford announces something spectacular. I don't think Ford has ever used SEMA to announce anything super spectacular. It's more of an aftermarket. If you go to the Magnuson booth, I think they're going to have a couple of F-150s there, which Lund Racing tuned. They got the 2650 hot rod style kit on their 21 and up F-150, and it seems to be running extremely, 24 F-150. So you're going to be seeing that supercharger kit make its way to cars. I'm trying to get my Donnie, one of those supercharger kits because I want to have hands-on experience with it. Even if I have to buy it, I just want to make sure the guy gets taken care of because he has access to it. I think he's one of the few guys that I think is competent in terms of wrenching on vehicles. I'm saying ridiculously competent. So I think we can get really good data because he's going to install it good. I'm going to probably help him install it more than likely and get some data, videos, just for the people that want an alternative to Whipple stuff. Because look, now rotor rubbing and high boosted Whipple superchargers is like synonymous. And I have yet to see many rotor failures on highly boosted TVSs, but Donnie's won't be highly boosted. I think it's going to be a crew cab that runs 10s with pump gas or race gas. And I think that's more than enough for the street car guy because that's fast. A 10-second crew cab daily driver is something that a lot of people can achieve. And I think you could do it easier with a Magnuson supercharger than a Whipple, plain and simple, because of the rotor pack, because of how it delivers power. I think it'll be an interesting thing. So let's look up real quick FFRE's post on Facebook. So we're going to, read along here and check out what Fast Forward Racing Engines posted. FFRE says, we've been working on something special this year, introducing the very new FFRE Noonan Coyote billet block. Our billet block will be available in standard height, standard height, and dry deck very soon. Testing has begun with Snot Rocket 3.0 Brett LaSala, which had a very impressive first outing at FL2K25 this year. Stay tuned for more in-depth details about everything technical, pricing, and availability in the next couple of months. And, when you look at it, it's pretty badass. Now, someone on the internet the other day posted something about sleeved stock Coyote blocks aren't any good because they're weaker. I don't know. This thing ran 6.0, okay? And they were not throwing motors in there like candy. They were doing 50 runs, 5.0, and then taking it out, checking it out. The only time I think they had a big failure is when like something with the valve train. Rarely did you hear about the block exploding unless they pushed it on purpose because they were at the end of life. But this is the billet Noonan motor that FFRE posted today. A lot of people shared it. A lot of people had interest in it. And the fact that it's wet deck, you can run coolant through it. This is going to be good for the max effort guys. I'm saying ridiculous max effort. If you are not in the sixes, this shit ain't for you. You understand? If you're not trying to go sixes, this shit is not for you. Stay on the stage 3, stay on the Predator block with thicker sleeves. This sucker is not for you unless you are ridiculously serious. Now, we have a couple of customers that are going to be a World Cup that might eclipse the 6-second quarter mile time because they have now moved on from a 6-speed 6R80 204 R200. And that'll just further prove how vetted that combo is and what is the top dog overdrive transmission on the planet, plain and simple, bar none. I see a lot of these NT classes, NT overdrive classes are becoming popular. I don't know of any quicker, unless you're talking about a Rossler 400 with an over gear vendors. I don't know of any other transmissions that are factory overdrive like that have been as quick as a 6R80. So that's another thing to watch out at World Cup this year. We have a customer that's going to potentially go sixes with a 4R200. We got Joe Glockner is also running there. So I think he already ran sixes, so he's going to run sixes. He's really close to running sixes. So it'll be good to see, a lot of the Coyote cars at pretty heavy weight running a good number. And then people are going to say, well, should I buy this? I don't think you need this unless you're making well into the 2000 or maybe mid 2000 horsepower range, because we've seen so many Predator block Coyotes with aluminum rods, stage 4 packages from FFRE that are in the 2500 and up range, and they don't seem to be having an issue. Look at Lund Racing's engine. Their engines don't fail prematurely. They go 50 runs, then they send them back, make sure everything is good, rebuild it, put it back in the car, another 50 runs until the rods are end of life, and they go. The 8HP90 has never been sixes. The 6R80 has been 660s. So I don't know of any other overdrive style transmission that has gone as quick as the 6R80. Whether it's 6-speed, 2-speed, 5-speed, whatever the fuck it is a 6R80 regardless of how many speeds. A T56 is a T56 even if you eliminate 5th and 6th. They don't call it anything else but a T56. So a 6R80 is top dog OD. So I wonder, who are these people that are claiming Billy Badass OD times? And I'm like, have you run 6s? Because like the fastest, again, non-6R80 guys. 6R80 guys that say they're badass NT and they're in the 7s, cool. I believe that. But I don't know of any that have gone 6s, whether it's showing time or not showing time. So we'll talk about a little bit of all that that's happening out there. A couple of mentally ill people making posts, but again, we won't talk about that because that's what they want. Attention. But it is interesting that it pops up when this show is seemingly doing really well. Like the more I'm out there, the more I'm on Instagram, the more I'm everywhere, people seem to want to be like, well, he's getting known again. Time to rain on his parade. And I'm like, you're just amplifying my voice. So it'll be interesting to see what the Lunds do. They're going to start probably testing tomorrow. So you'll start seeing times come in. And I know the methodology that Junior runs at. I wish he would just send it all the way down the quarter mile, first rip. Let's see what it does. But he's more methodical than that. He'll do an 1/8 mile, then he'll do a quarter mile, then he'll creep up on the boost. And usually the Grey Goose does really well, like by the finals. Like that's kind of like the story arc of the Grey Goose. Like it struggles during testing and qualifying, and then it absolutely rapes shit during elimination. So it'll be interesting to see if they do well, because it is a huge step up in class. I am not expecting them to run buckshot over this class. This is heavy hitter shit, 640 and quicker. This is Billy Badass stuff. This is a huge step up for the Grey Goose. Whereas in other classes, they were saying we were puppy kicking. This class, they cannot claim any puppy kicking because we're heavier. We have an overdrive transmission, and we're generally probably outgunned because it's mostly Fox bodies on a 295 getting down. So we'll talk about that, a little bit of everything that's happening. So it'll be interesting to see if a lot of people pick up the Billet Noonan Coyote and if they can run a 5 this weekend. I think that'll be a pretty amazing feat if Brett's car can run 5s and the Lunds can go quicker than 650. Chassis wise, it's close, but it's not a pro mod. What are we talking about here? Street Alpha Podcast is at SEMA. So yeah, Street Alpha Podcast. Actually, RB26 swapped his A86. I hate this Jap shit. His new Supra got swapped with an old GTR engine. There. I hate it. I hate the RBAE. You know? Stupid. Senior's math makes sense. MMR's car makes 2,000 horsepower for sure. Someone said Brett meant 639, 229. Oh, Craig Walls. What happened? Whoa. I went 639 last year in BBC Camaro. Ran 4.2, 229 in the 8th. Just for reference, good luck to the Lund crew. I'm running X295 this year in my Mustang. Got it. So the Lunds need to run, I think, a 429, a 645 or so, or 650. Look, if they go 659, it's a personal best. So anything quicker than a 650, but I suspect if the car holds up, it cuts a 1.0, does a 429, it'll go 40s. That is astronomical, and it'll be really fast. And he might be competitive. It's all about cutting a light, and they're still fucking with the Motec stuff, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets a handle on it over the weekend. Brett's car is a pro mod. If you want to claim fast anything, you got to pay to play. That is not a pro mod. Do you need to understand what a pro mod is? And I understand, but I understand what you're saying. When you look at a car that's monkey bar caged up, you're like, it's a pro mod. And it's not a pro mod, okay? When you look at a pro mod, it's a very specific thing. A pro mod looks a very specific way, and you can't just say Brett's car is a pro mod, because it's not. When you look at a pro mod, you simply Google pro mod. Brett's car, it is not like this. It's just plain and simple. Don't get me wrong. It's fully caged up, but Brett's car does not look like this. And it does not sit like this. It has some leftover S197 parts. I get it, the strut towers. A lot of people get a little weird about that. But there's a fine line between like a Pro 275 car and a Pro mod. This is a Pro mod. We're going to do Pro 275 car chassis. Actually, like your buddy shit. Yeah, like your buddy shit. See, there is a difference between that and this. And people say, I don't see it. Well, that's okay. You don't have to see it because you don't know shit. But this is what a Pro 275 car looks like. This is what a Pro Mod car looks like. I would tend to agree that Brett's car mostly resembles a Pro 275 build than a Pro Mod. So stop saying Pro Mod, because the people that take it literally get offended. They get really offended. They're like, it's not a fucking Pro Mod, because when you look at a Pro Mod, it's very specific. There are people that'll look at Senior's Grey Goose and say, that's a Pro Mod. No, dipshit. It still has S197 floors, a whole S197 unibody. It has reinforcements underneath it and inside it. But generally, it's mostly S197. It's still 3-link. But people will say, it sits the same. And then people that say it sits the same as Brett's car, they're equally as uninformed. But that's okay, because they're normies. And I don't expect them to know the nuances and the differences. They just look at it from the outside. They go, that bitch a Pro Mod. Man, that bitch a Pro Mod, man. I ain't racing no fucking Pro Mod. Bro, it has, it's a mini tub Fox body. Yeah, Pro Mod. Like by that definition, my Fairmont is a Pro Mod. It's a 10-point, through the floor subframe, mini tub, front tubular. Is that a Pro Mod? People will say, yup. And I'm like, okay, I can't talk to you. Yeah, every car is a fucking Pro Mod. Every car that's not a bone stock car apparently is a Pro Mod to the normies. Now I feel kind of lame that I'm excited for my 4.7 liter forged sleeve illuminator block mod arriving tonight. I know the year 2007 says hello, everybody. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Can't tell a 4R200, not a 6R80, unless you tell them. That's the other thing. So that went away. When the Lunds buried the 6R80 record, all the cuck-ass weirdos that don't know how to tune a 4R200, especially with second gear leave, they stopped trying. They're like, and then they cry. Like, we can't have Senior's car at the 6R80 class. Well, yes, you can. But people start, he's going to puppy kick. Build yours better. Oh, you can't build yours better? Then go down to, what the fuck? Open Comp. Go to Open Comp. If you can't build a better car than the Grey Goose, get your ass to Open Comp, bitch ass motherfucker. If not, shut the fuck up. Like, if I was like True Street, right? True Street, in my opinion, should be anything that can make a 30-mile drive, come back, and make 3 passes back to back to back. That, to me, is True Street. If John Force himself somehow gets a top-fueled rail to drive 30 miles and do 3 back-to-back passes, and he averages 390 doing that, that is a True Street car. Now, you start paring down all of the stupid classes, like it's got to have factory bumpers. For a little while, NMRA said, well, you got to have mufflers all the way out the back. And then turbo cars that had fender exits were like, what? What do you mean? Well, you got to have mufflers all the way to the back. And the guy's like, I got a single 100 and it's a hood exit. You want me to run exhaust all the way out the back? So then people started complaining about that. And it's usually the slow guys that complain. I'm not fast, okay? But I also don't complain about classes. Well, that car's in my class. Who gives a fuck? He meets the rules. He's in. But there's a lot of people that complain, and even the fast guys. Supposedly, a lot of people complain about, like, the no prep guys. The no prep guys are going to be in for a world of hurt once these winged cars start having major issues at the top end of the track. I saw a post the other day where a guy, Billy, raced, did a wheelie at the end, and it was like, whoa, this guy's a madman. I'm like, this guy almost died. Because now you're shoving so much downforce that at the 8th mile, the car's running, I don't know, well over 150, over 160 maybe, and the car it has all the weight in the rear, and then it just flies. So heaven forbid someone loses their life because they biased so much downforce on the back of that shit, and that it flew up and it just tumbled and se acabó el party. No one's going to be saying that's cool then, right? But they're now complaining when this F350 or F250 truck that has like a fiberglass body and mostly tube chassis enters the race. Dude, no prep is anything goes. No one's limiting the size of your wing. Like, is that what we're going to have to do now? Is that what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to say to the no prep guys, hey, you can only have a wing with this cross section. Oh, they're going to cry foul. Well, what the fuck? The all-wheel drive. Well, if you're not allowing this all-wheel drive Billy badass diesel truck that gaps your ass in, well, we should then start limiting the sizes of your downforce, right? Or make a better mechanism where, let's say it hinges and it totally becomes like a rear wing, like it starts high and then with speed it like flattens out and it just becomes part of your deck wing, as opposed to, you know, staying there, putting all the downforce in the bitch, and then your nose flies up in the air. And then what's going to happen when you have zero control over the car over 160 miles an hour, and then something happens, heaven forbid. So stop the weird rule chasing and calling everything a pro mod and stuff like that. I think it's goofy and weird. If you're not fast enough, just say so, and then enter open comp and enter the open comp parade where everyone warms up their car right before they run 16 seconds in the quarter mile with a delay box. It's a fucking. That's why I left racing. I wasn't really never in it, but it just stopped interest. I had no more interest in it because now you can sandbag your way to a B class, right? And then they allow 2 to 3 tenths up and down, and you can like bracket race. I love the people that entered Texas 2K knowing damn well that car is a 650 car and you back it down to 780 so that you can win something in the B class, so that you're not in the A class where they're running really fast. And then you take that 2 or 3 second or 2 or 3 tenth window and win the class, and in the same breath say bracket racing is gay. Bracket racing is gay. Wait a minute, you're sandbagging your shit to win in the B class. So every time, once I started seeing that, I'm like, everyone here is goofy. Everyone here is goofy. No one here played a sport. No one here played a sport. Go ahead. Go. You're at the track right now? You're at the track right now? Take a look to your left. Take a look to your right. Ain't no motherfucker played a sport. My wife, Sonata, has a K&N air filter pro mod. You're not wrong. Does Lund run a Mark Williams rear? I don't know. If he's in here, he can chime in. I think they're probably right now at the Chili's. So this is the you set up, you get everything set up, and then you go eat at a Chili's or a Applebee's or a Carrabba's in like the least dark neighborhood in that part of Maryland, and try not to get killed, and have way too much cheese on your steak, and then clog up your arteries and butthole for the rest of the weekend. And yeah, that's I'm done experiencing that shit. Spool and Ben says, promoters at my local track say cars on a 15-inch wheel isn't a street car. What? What the fuck? We might have a new sport if they put a K rail at the end of the 8th mile, just could jump over it. Motherfuckers that complain are the same motherfuckers that want a discount on something. 10.0 version coming soon. No more rotors rubbing. Then they'll add a giant wing to the front too, like Time Attack car. Remember all these drag racers saying Honda wing is stupid, looks like a shopping cart, da-da-da-da-da. Go look at your favorite no prep racer right now. Go look at your favorite no prep racer right now. Big, stupid wing. Big, dumb, stupid wing. Why? Because it works. Tons of downforce. So now you're going to have to see these guys go, wait a minute. So we figured out the issue with the downforce, so we got plenty of grips at the end of the track. But we've got to figure out the ways of keeping the nose down. And then someone starts, someone starts playing Gran Turismo and goes, you know, I remember this game back in the day, Gran Turismo, and this thing called the Escudos Pike Peak was gnarly. Bet me, you will see something like this in the next year or two at no prep tracks. You will see the big, hell, why don't you just build this? Just build this and drag race it. It's got the big stupid wang for downforce and keeps the front end down by having canards and a big old lip rock collector. That's what's going to happen. You know what we're going to do? What? I really don't want to experience that big wheelie at the top end, so I'm going to go ahead and put a big old wang in the front. Okay. So everything you guys said for the last 10 years is bullshit. Where you made fun of all the Honda guys, you made fun of all the big wang guys, and now that's what you're doing. So you're looking pretty stupid. The fish says back goes down, front goes up, makes the whole car create lift. That sparkly billet block took a little off the shine off my delivery tonight. What I was referring to, that thing is beautiful. Don't know what you're talking about. Part of me likes the innovation, but it's getting out of control. Okay. If you're going to run an outlaw track with no rules, then you're going to see cars like that. So I started like distancing myself from any of that stuff when the cars started looking more like old gassers. Remember the old gassers of the, 60s or whatever? Raked up, front, the wheelbase moved forward, lengthened, moved forward, and the cars just biased everything towards the rear for grip. And I'm like, oh, so what's old is new again. But if you're going to run an outlaw style track like that, or outlaw style race like no prep, you really can't complain if a guy comes in with a diesel truck with fiberglass parts. If a guy comes in with a diesel truck, 4-wheel drive, fiberglass parts, and is beating the ever-living shit out of everybody, you really can't say, I don't want him here. Because what's going to happen, right? This is what I envision happening. I still think the Roadster Tesla is going to come out. And on a recent interview with Joe Rogan, which I didn't watch the interview, but I watched the clip, where Elon Musk said, this car's performance metrics are not going to make sense. This car's performance metrics are not going to make sense. He says the product showcase is either going to be spectacularly wonderful or horrendous. But I suspect that Elon is going to have some kind of technology on this car that is not electric motor driven, and it's going to be completely different. So now let's say, for example, look at what's happening with Boost District. They have an E-Ray. And the E-Ray, twin turbo E-Ray, it's not beating the top tier no prep cars, but it ain't getting spanked by much. This is a mostly factory looking vehicle that retains the all-wheel drive system, and he is actually competitive and has won rounds in a no prep style event. I don't know longevity, I don't know anything about that, but Roshan seems to be doing a really good job of building something that a lot of people are going to eventually want, which I do. An all-wheel drive E-Ray, rod and piston motor on E85 that runs 5s in the 8th, to me is phenomenal, and 8 seconds in the quarter mile, and it retains all of the factory doodads, and it's still heavy. Again, weight helps the all-wheel drive car hook, so give me that. So if I can show up to a no prep race and go rounds, not win because I'm going to get beat by the guy with the big stupid wing and the Steve Morris motor with the totally unbalanced crank. Did you hear about that? Adam LZ's motor, he supposedly was not balanced properly because Steve Morris didn't notice something. Oh my God. I'm sick and tired of people buying motors from the guy. And then he just publicly says, yeah, I forgot to do something very critical to the motor. Balance it properly. Unbelievable. Non-standard response says, paying my dues for the weekends help. You have me. Thanks again. Paying my dues for the weekends help. You have me. Thanks again, Theo. Right away, appreciate it. When I'm ready to boost, what are your thoughts? Roush versus Paxton. Oh, shit. Well, those are two different power deliveries. If you're roll racing and you're not drag racing, get yourself a Paxton. If you are mostly dig racing or you find yourself doing more light-to-light stuff, get the Roush. There you go. Roush, if you drag, there you go. Tony the truck guy mimicked exactly what I say. A front splitter and canards would help, would probably be too goofy looking. The front splitter is pretty vanilla looking. What about the big wing on a roll race car? The problem is, like Viper, if you watch Texas 2K, man, if you watch TX2K, what you're going to see is the Viper ACRs bury the rear end, but they have canards and front aero too, so that keeps the car from lifting. Those cars are going over 200 miles an hour, you understand? Sometimes 210, 220. So when I see a ACR Viper at TX2K not going airborne, that tells me that front aero is doing something, but you could see how buried the car is because the aero and the downforce that the rear wing is causing is really helping. So that is an interesting thing that people might have seen that and gone, well, that car's rear wheel drive. Look at how it's stuffing the rear end to the ground. Look at how big the wing is. And by the way, it's not lifting off. So let's look again. I'm helping you guys out. This no prep guys. You might think I'm a nobody, but you know I'm right. You know I'm right. You might not think so. You might say he's a dumbass, he's a stupid son of a bitch. But when you see a Viper ACRE roll racing a TX2K with a big old wang like this and front arrow like this and not have the nose go up in the air, it's got to make you think maybe there is something to these canards, this front arrow, this front splitter that is keeping the front end down. See these nice little... So you could say all you want about me, but if you have a big old wang like this and you're a no prep guy and you're having issues with the nose coming up at the end of the 8th mile, you might want to make the front end look something like the Viper. Bet me, I said it November 4th, 2025. No prep guys that are having issues lifting off at the top end of the track are going to start putting canards and front splitters on their car to keep the front end down. Arrow, arrow, arrow. I can't believe Steve Morris fucking posted that. What a mess. Let's go. We're going there. So, a lot of you have heard me be critical about Steve Morris. And again, I don't hate him, but he's his own worst enemy. As a matter of fact, I saw a clip of him at the track, and he had coolant in the tank. And I'm like, you had coolant? Coolant in the tank? Listen to... This is his thumbnail. Jesus. Wrong. The crank balance was off, and I did not know it. How does that... How? Again, I'm not going to watch an hour explaining I didn't know the crank balance was off. An engine builder typed this on the channel. Why are you buying motors from the guy? Seriously. Boots District just took delivery of a C at 01. We'll be excited to see what they can do with it. Unless tuning comes out, I don't think they're going to do that much. And it's not an all-wheel drive version, so I'm not really looking forward to what he can do. I am waiting for the all-wheel drive version. Plain and simple. Hey, Alex, have you seen the 4G63 mini truck that uses the 410 or 80 transmission built by K? Nope, did not see that. Probably don't care. Fuck, wonder if you can swap Coyote into a Power Boost hybrid F-150 or rob the hybrid system to add torque to the F-150. It's going to have to communicate, I'm sure, in the way Ford works. They outsource everything. You're going to have like access to modules and bullshit. I don't think so. The new Tesla Roadster will be powered by Mr. Fusion Home Energy Reactor. So thank you for bringing me back to my original point. So what's going to happen if you no prep guys are out there building $100,000+ no prep cars, and a guy that bought a Tesla Roadster for $175 goes up, and it's going to happen, and it runs 4s in the 8th. Boom! 4s. Shh. There it is. Boom. Beat ya. Come back. Now, all you guys saying, these cars are gay. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's faster. I'd rather have my steak in a smoker, or I'd rather have my steak on a grill than in a microwave. Just to cope with the fact that you can't build something better than Tesla. Let's be honest. You can't build something better than the Model S Plaid. Can you? Can you build something that goes 500-mile range and goes 930s on 75% charge? No, you cannot. So what do? You put it down to make yourself better. That's what most insecure people do. If they see someone doing better than them, they immediately say, it's gay, I don't care, it's a microwave, I'd rather have my steak on a grill than in a microwave, but you can't beat it. Same thing with this show. You can't beat me, so you just put me down. That's okay. I understand. You can't beat me. So if a guy with a Roadster shows up and goes, I want to enter this no prep, are you going to deny him because he has a better vehicle? Are you going to say, no, electric vehicles are outlawed, so you're basically saying it's quicker? The Lucid Air Sapphire is an 890 car, probably in the high fives. You need to be in the mid to low fives to be the top tier, no prep, no, backside racing. So if you show up with a Roadster and you run 490 and you beat everybody, I'm sorry. You can't say he's cheating. You can't outlaw. If you outlaw a Roadster, you're basically saying, I can't build something better than that. That's cheating. So it'll be interesting to see because it's going to come out. It's going to come out, and you're going to start seeing people complain and bitch and moan, and you're going to have to make the same category change that they did to RC cars. You will see with these cars. once the technology catches up, you're going to see these gas cars as novelty. Again, horses are still a thing. People with money, they see a horse and it's a toy. It's cool. It's a lawn ornament. Look, it's beautiful. It's big. I'm going to go ride it, blah, blah, blah. But you wouldn't go, let me get on my horse, go to town, go to Publix, get groceries, and come back on my horse. You would be retarded. You take your big gas-guzzling Yukon XL or SUV to Publix with air conditioning and massaging seats, do the thing. Same's going to happen once electric cars destroy gas cars in terms of performance. You're going to start seeing people go, I'm going to take the gas car out for a cruise, but I'm going to use the electric car that runs 8.25 mile or 7s, and I have a trunk, a frunk, and I can go 500-mile range, quiet as hell, whoop, and you're going to be like, it's gay, it's gay, it's gay, it's gay, it's gay, until everyone has it, and you're the weirdo with the gas car. And again, I understand that, but I am 100% going to say I like them as a toy. I still want a rotary car. I still want a Starlet. I want an 80 Starlet with baby Supras and a 13B, maybe a 3-rotor, chopping away, running 1150s with a nice exhaust and an AC. Slow as shit, burns oil, but I want it. Is it better than a Model 3? No, but I want it. And how they made fun of these stick guys. Oh my, how the turntables. Oh, remember the guys that were like, stick shift's gay, stick shift's whack shit. Now it's gangster shit. For a long time, oh, you guys stick blah, blah, blah. Then one little invention changed everything. The slipper clutch. I remember the first time I saw TT Minion. By the way, he's going to be a World Cup. Check him out. The OG, one of the OG guys that you saw with a slipper style clutch, like a Black Magic, and a drag radial. And I'm like, a drag radial? Good luck making a drag radial hook on a stick shift car. And then you heard that crazy high stall, and you're like, wait a minute, there is some voodoo going on in that transmission. I'm like, whoa, that is a lot of slip, but the car is going forward. And I said, oh, he's got some stuff there. And then all of a sudden, everyone went that route. And all of a sudden, it's one of the more popular classes, the stick shift racing class. Now, it's so popular that I think it's going to go backwards. I think the stick shift class is going to make a full circle turn, and you're going to start seeing slick cars with a slipper clutch, but they'll just program in less slip and wheelie bars, because if the Starlets can do it, Toyota Corollas can do it, and the Mazda RX-7s can do it, why can't an S10? So I can't wait to see this year if somebody takes advantage of the rules and says, I'm going to go back to, pro stock and do the thing. Lucid Air Gano Zempic will go faster. See, Ricky VWT, this is what I think happens with these electric cars that I don't think a lot of people understand. I think they have a pre-programmed acceleration slope. So let's say, for instance, you have a traction control device on your car and you program in a curve. And that's how the traction control works on these modern Fandangle drag racing cars. There is a curve. So you target a curve, and if the curve goes out of spec, the traction control brings it down to maintain that curve. So it pulses the wastegate or whatever, but it traces that curve that you mapped out. So I think there's a pre-programmed curve in the electric car's acceleration based on many factors, specifically battery life and traction. And I think you can't adjust that curve. So you saw what happened with the boosted boys. No matter what they did, even if they brought the weight all the way down, the car wouldn't go noticeably quicker. You notice that it was kind of like stuck in the high 8s, low 9s. And I'm like, wait a minute, they brought the weight down severely, put in some shitty aero, and the car didn't really gain a bunch more. But then you see a Sapphire, Lucid Air Sapphire, and that thing goes 890s. like clockwork. And I'm like, I just think it's just the pre-programmed acceleration curve that it meets it better than the Tesla does. I don't know what Tesla needs to do, but making it lighter does not necessarily make it quicker. It is interesting. Bring back manual racing. Sebastian Delgado, see, what's going to happen is this. I think a lot of the V8 guys are going to have to sell out on a bias ply. They're going to have to take their pride and shove it up their ass, just like the no prep guys put a big wing on their car. You're going to see slick guys put a wheelie bar on their shit. It's just, and you could just lean on that wheelie bar. And people are going to say that's gay, but if it's allowed, if World Cup allows wheelie bars in stick shift because Mazda RX-7s, 0.8s, and Starlets run a wheelie bar and a slick. Again, I don't know of any Puerto Rican that runs a seriously fast number stick shift in one of those little Jap boxes and runs a drag radial and relies on separation and a big slipper clutch to do what it does. Those guys go, wham, run 10,000 RPM leave, dump the clutch, and the tire chatters all the way down the track and it rides the wheelie bar. If they can do it, why can't a V8 guy? I think the V8 guy should do it. Someone's going to have to sell out and do it. I don't see EV taking over. I do see hybrid, though. I think EV will take over once the battery technology catches up. I've always said that, but it's not a popular thing to say on the channel. Like, I literally lose viewers when I start talking electric car stuff. So I'm like, all right, you guys don't get technology, so I'll just talk stupid shit. Lewis says, I only went to FL2K to watch the stick guys run, to be honest. Everything else, including Brett's car, was mad to me. Oh, stop it. Brett's car is pretty badass. If you know what's going on, it's a 5-liter Coyote that's running pro line numbers. Some backside no prep racers want to ban guys racing with a big wing because it's giving them a big advantage. That's stupid. Why outlaw anybody? Tesla does make an electric car better than everyone else. They do, but in terms of faster, I don't think so. Tesla sells software upgrade on the Model 3 and why long-range models that can make the car accelerate faster, pay to play. That'll be interesting. I'd love to get into that, but I think this channel would not respond to it, and I'm not willing to make a $70,000 investment into a modification you guys would hate. Because let's say I get a used Model S Plaid, blue, and I go out there 60 to 130 and it runs 4s right off the rip. You're going to hate that. Fuck. It's fast, Alex, but it's gay. Cool. Then I'm going to go drag racing on the street and it's run 930 on the street. And people are going to go, it's fast, Alex, but it's gay. I'm going to go, okay. And then I'm going to upgrade the software, put a set of Bellax with street hardware, all-wheel drive, like 20-inch Bellax, deep dish, badass stuff. Mickey Thompson, East T Street R's all the way around, or SS's, right? And let's just see what it does. And look, I was able to bust off an 8 on the street with the upgraded software and more grip. Wow, Alex, it's still gay. So now what? I have $10,000 into this car and 5,000 viewers because you guys think it's gay. Or I get the super gay Tesla guys following me, and I don't think I want that either. At this point, whoever wants to watch, the haters watch more than anyone else. They clip my shit. Could you imagine you download my show and then you watch me move my eyes and you're like, wait, let me slow down. I got to put something over his face so I can make a clip. And then you're looking at my face, looking at my smile. You're like, motherfucker, you're 47 looking like that? Man, how them sleeves tight? How you got nice teeth? How you got all your teeth and they're nice? Shit, when you stand up, I see a bulge and I can't believe it. I'm like, those guys love you the most. We are gay. We like ice vehicles. Would be cool to see you get into a rotary. I'd like to get into a rotary also. There's a guy I follow on Facebook. I am learning so much on rotaries that it makes me not want to get them. Until you see the size of the Lucid Drive. Okay. Until you see the size of a Lucid Drive, a unit, you don't realize how cool it actually is. Something the size of a shoebox houses an ECU. I can't. You type in the most retarded fashion. I can't even follow it. Battery tech still behind. Capacitor tech's been available since the 70s. Someone thinking outside the box wouldn't have to wait for the batteries to catch up for drag racing. Yes, you do. You need to get a certain amount of density into the battery pack, and you can't do that without technology. You busted off an 8. You busted off 8 seconds. Damn, she ain't coming back after that. I don't give a fuck. What matters if I come. I don't care if they come. Those are BMW guys running fake Bellax at FL2K a la cara. That is 100% one of the most disrespectful things I've seen. It's one thing to run race stars, VMSs. Like, we know you're poor, but you're stunting if you have a Bellac logo, but that is an Alibaba wheel. Like, you are peak gay poor if you bought a $80,000 vehicle, but you bought Alibaba Bellacs. And I'm like, wow. So yeah, I don't think the BMW market is one to be chased at all. I think let the BMW guys do BMW shit. I don't think you should chase that market at all. They want to see your cog, absolutely. I don't know if it's real, but there's a guy in Dubai that jailbreak the Tesla Plaid and recorded a 60-30 in the high threes with weight reduction. I don't know about that. I'll be impressed when EVs, they can get the same mileage in cold weather. You're right. You're not wrong about that. The Jackie Chan clip from the 80s, slow down, baby. Would you like to call Temu Bellac a Fellac? Would you call a Temu Bellac a Fellac? Yeah, Fellac is a good name for it because they're fake Bellacs. But Damien is a Cuban guy in Miami, has a bunch of CNCs in this industrial area. It's not a big conglomerate. It's not this big, massive thing. It's lean and mean, and he makes the wheels then and there. And he's like honorable, nice. You want to talk about made in America guy, like a success story. So then you have people in Alibaba copying the wheel and the logo. And then BMW guys buying it. And then you have Mustang TikTokers saying, what's the big deal? It's $6,000 or $2,000. Well, get a VMS. Get a VMS. If you can't afford Bellacs, get a VMS. Get a Weld Laguna, whatever the fuck. Those things are hideous. If you own the Weld Lagunas, you chose the ugliest fucking wheel I've ever seen in my life. There's billet specialties you can get. Shit, you can get Convo Pros, I bet. But no, you don't got the money, or you want to look like you got the money, because let's be honest. Why do we get Bellacs? Why do we get Bellacs? You want to let people know you got it like that. That's it. That's the only reason you get Bellacs. They're a great wheel. Can I go just as quick with a Bellac than I can a Weld? Of course. RC Comp? Of course. But the reason you get Bellacs is the bling. It's like, look at my shit. I got Bellacs. Suck my dick. Why do people show up with a toter home to a track only to pull out a fucking Corolla? What the fuck did you do there? You want to let people know you got money. So this is the same thing. In racing, there's a lot of sportsmanship, one-upsmanship. So you show up with Bellacs, you're like, damn. But what if you show up with fake Bellacs and they call you out on fake Bellacs? Then what? What the fuck are you then? Weird. Very weird. The fake Bellacs are Bondo's side hustle. That's funny. When I was at World Cup one year, I was talking to a rotary guy that made 1200 through a turbo 400. And he told me it was stock case, stock rotor, 13B. He told me it's all in the portwork and apex seals. And the billet rotors, the billet plates, I'm sure. If it's stock, good for them. What would cause a P068 Gen 3 Coyote? Change battery, check wiring, sputtering bad. Also got a code for cylinder 2 glow plug. I don't know what kind of glow plug on a fucking Mustang. Just hit up your tuner, data log it, and he'll help you out. 100 mile an hour on a boat, dude, running coke to the Bahamas. I'd rather rock cheap wheels than knockoffs. Yes. Again, if the thought process is I can't afford them, then buy VMSs, buy race stars. But this is the problem with VMSs and race stars. In a game where stunting that you got a lot of money is part of the game, it's pretty embarrassing to show up with race stars to like a grudge race, right? Because they're going to use that against you. Let's say you go to a grudge race, right? You're Donk Nationals, right? You're like, man, I got my donkey, but I'll fuck up everybody here. How much you want to go for? And someone's going to go, man, shut the fuck up. You ain't got no money. You got race stars. And you go, shit, you're right. You're right. Let's just run for pride. On a grudge race, right? It's stupid. So you show up to a grudge race with the best paint, the best graphics, a car that should not have been modified. Look what happened with my GT500. The ex-owner of the GT500 built that as a grudge car. Stupid. Why? Stunting. Big money. Beautiful. Pretty. Had the most gaudy sticker in the back I've ever seen in my life. But that's the name of the game. Now you got too much faith, EPA Amory. What's happening? EPA Amory. EPA. Did my first 8-hour road trip with the Tesla last weekend. Flawless. Full self-driving the whole way. Fast charging. People refuse to adapt or missing out. The best daily I've owned. You have the Model 3, right? Look, I need something big though. I need something like to tow and shit. I wouldn't get rid of any of my cars for a Tesla. Maybe Donnie. You know what I mean? Like Donnie is at the point where what's the next step for Donnie? Buy a Paxton and have yet another 6R80 drag car? But it's a great car. But it's now just like a quick daily, right? So I'm kind of stuck. So it's probably time to sell it. But the problem is I want to fix a couple of things so I don't get, Jade down. I'd want 20 for it or something. But, there's this leak. I don't know where it's coming from. Like the rug gets wet when it rains. I'm like, why is the rug getting wet when it rains? So I'm sure I don't know. I got to find that. I want to make sure that if I sell it, that I don't get any complaints or just sell it as is and say, get it out of my life. It's got to build trans. It's pretty quick, whatever. But, yeah, I don't think I would sell that than to buy a $50,000 Model S Plaid. Crazy. Be nice if Belloc made a street truck wheels. Street truck wheels? I don't think so. I think Vossen wheels are okay. I don't know anything about Vossen. Haven't seen fake Bellocs. Do they look very different? No, they look damn near identical. There's just a certain specific ways that he machines the bead lock that he knows that they're fake. I got a set of Apex SM10s with Nittos for daily, my Gen 2, and I feel poor. I haven't seen any badass cars on Raystars or VMSs. Exactly. Name me a badass Raystar. Name me a badass Raystar equipped car that wasn't sponsored by Raystar. Name me a badass VMS equipped car that wasn't sponsored by VMS. The reason people run those wheels on their cars is because they are given to them for free or they're being sponsored in one way or another. Which, again, I'm blown away that people don't understand the difference between sponsorships and asking for discounts. Like, one of the worst things I do, and I probably shouldn't do, is read comments. Reading comments is the worst thing you could do because people are retarded. There was a person in one of my shorts that said, okay, the short was how Precision Turbo could get Lund Racing to switch over to Precision and what they would have to do. And that person in that comment section said, wait, you said you're poor if you ask for discounts, but the Lunds should run Precisions? I said, oh my Lord, how did you make that leap? Could you imagine being his teacher in grade school? Like, explaining to this retard how to do the actual assignment? And he goes, he just comes off out of left field with some shit. He was equating Precision, asking John to how we can work with each other to run Precisions on the Grey Goose, to me saying that if you ask for discounts, you're poor. I'm like, I can't imagine you had a teacher in grade school that thought you were bright. Alex, Lucid Gravity. Once the bugs are worked out, it's a pretty nice SUV. I'm good. So my tuner with Lund, I think, has a grudge against BBK. He says speed engineering headers would be better than BBK LTHs. Is there a reason? Blake, show me the ticket number and I will go in there. I'm not saying you're wrong, because since you said my tuner, but you didn't say me, so that means someone else is talking. So Blake, show me the ticket number where some guy from Lund said BBKs, first of all, BBKs aren't good, but speed engineering? Dude, if someone at Lund is recommending anything but ultimate header, Cooks, ARH, or Stainless Works, I gotta have a talk with homie. Hit me out. Theo, rares only, but they're Bellax. Damn. Can I make fun of you if you have rears only but Bellax? Shit, that's like $4,000 wheels. I don't know. If you have rears only but they're Bellax, you might get a pass. If you do end up selling Donnie, how much would you want for it? Probably 20. It's got a full built, all billet 6R80. It needs things here and there. But Donnie is unfortunately the car that could go first because I've already gotten what I needed out of it. An 1170 Gen 1 car. You know, going to the track's going to run 1170. Putting a trans brake in it, putting a built rear end in it, and I'm like, I have that. It's called Collier or Donnie or the GT500. So unfortunately, if I do sell a car, it'll be Donnie, which sucks because I do like the car. But if somebody else wants to build it and go fast, you're halfway there. It's got good suspension. I can give it the anti-roll bar with it. I probably want 20 for Donnie. I owe on it because I financed it because I'm not psycho dropping 20 on a car. It's a monthly payment. But obviously, you know, you buy it. I send you the title when I get it. See you later. Leave me alone. Or you have your credit, whatever the fuck. Make it easy. Jay Down, that's a new one. Bellac made ATV wheels. Check your drains on the cowling. Already did. It's clean. It's not that. I tried. Trust me, I did. My coworker got all butthurt that I told him VMSs were gay. They are gay. VMSs, look, let's say you're a new Mustang guy. Camaro, whatever. You're entering a hobby that is vain. The way your car looks, the way your car sits, the way your car presents is like half of the battle. So if the car looks clean but is slow, people will go, it looks clean, right? If your car looks good but it's slow, you get a pass in this hobby. If your car is a bucket, looks like shit, and runs like shit, that's the worst thing you could do. So let's say you show up with a 2015 Mustang with Borla Suck My Dicks, a JLT intake, Speedmaster headers, and VMS rears only. And it runs 12.9 at 108. Go home. This shit's not for you. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to fuck you out.
Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm going to fuck you out right now.
Why'd you even show up, stupid? Now, that same vehicle with bone stock performance package wheels, 15 to 17 performance package wheels with Brembos, runs a 12.9 at 108. Comes back, people go, slow, but it looks good. So you don't get a pass. So if you show up with rears only, VMSs, and run the same number you would with a bone stock performance package wheel, you're going to look worse with the VMSs. So don't even bother with the VMSs. Don't even bother with the race stars. You are trying to enter a very vain, judgmental, mentally ill. This hobby is full of mentally ill, psychotic motherfuckers. Okay? Me included. I'm not just saying I'm not. Okay? I get it. I'm one of y'all. You know? So if I see VMSs, I'm like, you get out. Leave the parking lot. I'm getting discouraged about my Gen 1 now. What do I get next, man? I don't know. He did recommend ARH first, but I'm not looking to spend there we go, Blake. So that is your fault. That is your fault. The tuner at Lund said, hey, I think you should get ARH. And you said, I ain't looking to spend $1,000 on high quality, great fitting headers. So now you gave him a choice. BBKs or these. And if you were to ask me, I'd say, fuck BBKs. Right? But the tuner gave you very good options. Ultimate header, ARH, or Cooks. And you said, I'm not finna spend $1,000 on headers. This shit ain't for you. This
pinche 956 a la verga.
This hobby is not for you. This hobby, leave it. Leave this hobby. It's not for you. Ultimate headers, Cook, or ARH. Period. Oh, man. Yo, man, my tuner's whack. Why? He said I got to spend $1,000 on the... Now, why do we say that? I didn't give him a choice. Ask the question. Read the ticket. No. You said the tuner recommended ARH. Full stop. I don't care what happens after that because I'm sure the conversation after that reads something like this. I don't want to spend $1,000 on headers. What about BBK? Tuner must have been like, if you're going to go poor, go Speedmasters or whatever the fuck. Speed engineering. Right? And why did the tuner say that? Because he goes, you know what? I've seen enough O2 issues with BBKs that I don't recommend BBKs. But his first choice was ARH. So I don't care what happens after that. Okay, he said wrong. Fuck you. Here we go. Fuck this guy. Okay, hold on. Fuck this guy. By the way, today's the last day. Today's the last day to enter this. Oh, look at that. Ooh, whoa. Anyway, last day to enter to get this. This fucking guy. You know, it's just these guys. You know, they don't get it. We're trying to look out for them. And they fight us. They fight us all the time. Fighting us all the time. Constantly fighting us. So let me see what the ticket number is. He said 2 something. Let me go scroll up. 255 273. 273. Here we go. You guys like this? Oh, Jesus. I didn't type it properly. Okay, Blake. Balake. Okay, so Corey is your tuner. Hey, 47 is really good with the combo. Blah 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 blah. 55 Corey. That's all I needed. Happy to assist. Let me know if you okay. So he gave you recommendations on injectors, and he was correct in his assessment. Happy to assist. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. Hey, Corey, I found some speed engineering long tube headers. Will those work out? I just don't think I want to spend $1,000 on long tubes when I don't think the performance difference in headers is much, if any. Let me know. And Blake, he says, Blake, yes, they'll work. They may need to clearance, could have some knock with them, but they'll work. So you screenshotted a picture of some bobo ass headers, and he's like, you may need to clearance them and you could have some false knock, but they'll work. Okay, I know you said BBKs is bad. Does that go for headers as well? He goes, SE headers are good. They're better than the BBKs in my opinion. The fuck are you talking about? You gave him a choice between a shit sandwich and diarrhea. So you said, well, I don't want to spend $1,000 on headers, so I want to put shit sandwiches on or diarrhea. And he's like, those are good. You might need to clearance them, and you will have false knock. He basically told you right there that regardless of the 2 shitty brands you get, you're going to need to clearance them and have false knock. Where did he go wrong? What did he do? What did he do wrong? He gave you wonderful advice. Wonderful advice. Speed whatevers are better than BBKs. Why? The O2s. Whatever materials BBK specifically makes their headers out of causes some weird issue with O2s that they prematurely wear out. Now, if you understand how O2s mount and how like resonance and materials transferring weird resonance to the sensor can cause it to have a shorter lifespan, we've seen that mostly with BBK headers. And that's not to say, because I haven't seen enough data on these speed whatever the fucks, that is not going to happen with those either. But thankfully, luckily, Corey said, you got to clearance them. You might have some false knock. Shout out to Corey. Shout out to Corey. Look at that. We did some what do you call it? QC, and Corey came through saying the right shit. Love that. Contract that shit to Turvey, custom built with motherfucking Lincoln Tombstone. Blake, done fucked up. Rest in peace, Pepperoni Blake. Thought BBKs were good though. Who said MKGO422? Where did you hear BBK is good? Where'd you hear that? Like, on what planet did you orbit, do entry, and land in, and then were able to communicate with the creatures on that planet via some kind of universal translator, and then you're like, hey, I heard y'all said BBKs were good. I heard y'all say BBKs were good, right? Yeah, I heard BBKs were good. Where? If you're going to run BBK, you might as well run eBay headers. It's the same header. Oh, yeah, I have that problem. My O2s just shit the bed. Alex, the Wish Kit for F-150 is finally out after 8 years. But I mean, for a heavy truck, I would think a PD blower or twins are more beneficial. You're 100% right. Blake says, did nothing wrong. I asked the question. Help someone new or learn instead of acting like this. I came from a 90s Mustang and trying to learn. Don't act like that. Corey has been great. Corey's good people. No, you got to understand how the show is, bro. Everyone gets roasted. No one is free of a roast session. Everyone gets roasted. El Verga Larga tried to say that traps and speed are the same thing. And he's still here. No, that was not the beep. That's the chair. Okay? I'm trying to make it happen again so you guys can hear. There it is. Whew. Because you go, Alex, you're bad, your batteries. Look at the MK4 photo. Comment makes sense. What? Where is he? MK4. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Wait. Enhance. Okay. Oh, it's not looking good. Enhance. Hey, yo. MKGO. You put that up and you thought that was a good look? Like you put that up. You put that up on your profile and you're like, yup. A Volkswagen, is it a Jetta? The fit's okay. I love you. Look. I'm trying to be better because I can just go off on a session, but you're just learning. You're learning. M4 BBKs aren't good. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be inclusive here. First time in the live, been watching the content for a while. To be honest, didn't know the stream was. I'm not mad, I swear. Much love. Thank you so much. See, good. That's how you should act if you come here. Get a little roasting, and we're good. I'm glad Corey's helping you. Corey's legit. Corey is so fucking legit. But if your name is like Edgar, he might call you Juan, so be careful. Oh, I love Corey. Corey's good people. I'm just saying, I run 11.7 with BBKs. I mean, tomato. 11.7s? That's what stock Mustangs run 11.7s. Enhance. Leave him alone. You beeped Elver. We need a Turvey update. Where the fuck's he been doing? He's been banging Sully from Godsmack. Got a long time friend with the 2012 Boss 302. Blown motor. How do you do that? Been sitting for years. Want to go fast and straight line. What motor combo would you recommend? On that car, if the cylinder heads are good, Johnny, get a Gen 3 bottom end, Gen 1 heads, or Gen 2 bottom end. Put the Boss heads on that bitch. Some nice gasket. Clean it up. Send the heads off to Head Games. Dude, the Boss cylinder heads are badass. The Boss cams are badass. The Boss timing set is badass. So I would put a Gen 3 or Gen 2 bottom end in it and go party. Bro, what do you mean that's goated? Damn, a chirp. That's Brazilian, man. Gen 1 Coyote. Damn, Alex, smoking out pack. Bro, bad. VW with no bumper and Fig Newton decal on the windshield. No way. Ain't no way he's got a Fig Newton decal. Stop. Where is he? Ain't no way he's got a Fig Newton decal on this shit. Where is he? Hold on. Where you at? Ain't no way. Please tell me you don't got a Fig Newton decal on the... No way. Let me really enhance the shit out of it. No, there's something on the windshield, like, Forbidden Rides Car Club. Something's going on. I don't know. Something's going on. I don't know what's going on, bro, but It's like all the wrong shit. And again, you got to understand where we're coming from. This, I would say, is like a reformed chat. Like people that used to do dumb shit, they come here and they realize, oh shit, that's dumb. Like a lot of people don't realize it's dumb to do shit because they're around people that do dumb shit. Again, if you buy VMSs, you're doing dumb shit. If you buy race stars, you're doing dumb shit. If you buy fake Bellacs, you're doing dumb shit. And unless you hear from people like me, you don't realize you're doing dumb shit. You might be right now the puro pinche 956 a la verga cuz.
Puro pinche 956 a la verga, cuz.
And you're like, órale, Holmes, let's go to Whataburger. And you're like, yeah, that's the best burger I've ever had in my life, even though I've never gone anywhere else for burgers. Cool. Which car we're going to take? Bro, I just put some VMSs on my car. Oh, for reals? They look like they kind of got bead locks, but they don't because it's just really riding. And when you're rolling, you don't really know. Yeah, it's cool. Then you go to Whataburger and someone's like, how come you only got the rear VMSs and you got regular radials on it? You don't even have a drag radial on it. Oh, that's bad? Yeah, you don't realize shit's bad unless you're around people that tell you it's bad. Yeah, but if you go to Whataburger on a puro pinche 956 la verga cousin, all your friends got VMSs.
La verga,
and then some white dude's like, bro, there isn't a Five Guys in this town, so I had to go to Whataburger. But man, rear only VMSs on a Ling Long is wild work. Nature's Bakery is better than Fig Newtons. Okay. Corey's great. He tuned my car. Sent me one file, sent log, said it was good, never emailed you back. Y'all back. Supreme Customs, if you're happy, we're good. If you have any problems, don't feel shy about emailing back. Blake says, I got a Gen 2 with the 18 intake, IMRC deleted, and not so great BBK cold air intake. Came on the car when I bought it, I swear. Beat a stock S650 manual with video proof. Corey's awesome. See, right there, Blake, people would say you're a fucking liar. They'd say, impossible that a Gen 2 can beat a S650 manual. Because S650s are just better. And, you know, there are people on specifically online that say something without any pushback. Like, I had a guy, I had a guy say, well, mod for mod, the Gen 3, mod for mod, the S650 is quicker than the Gen 3. And I go, no, it's not. No, it's not. Boost for boost, 10R80, S650, S550 run the same number. That's why I think the moment someone like Manuel puts a twin turbo in an S650, it's gonna run sevens because that's what Jesus' car did in 2018. That's right. Way the fuck back in 2018, Midnight put a twin turbo kit on a S550 10R80 and ran sevens on a stock motor. But you guys forgot. So then when someone says I ran 860s, I go, big fucking deal. You're a good 6/10 behind what someone at max effort did. So when people say a centrifugal S650 1.8, so did an S550. Hell, so did a Gen 2. So there isn't that much of a difference in terms of performance. It's just latest and greatest and amnesia. You're having a complete new audience come in that has forgotten about the S550's performance and all of a sudden are wowed by the S650's performance. You got OGs like me that have seen it from the get, and I'm like, it runs the same number. It's exactly what it was back then. Arguably, not any better than Gen 2 at max effort. But parts companies, parts manufacturers, ProCharge is going to say this is like this is the best. Whoa, these S650s really respond. The fucking Gen 3 did the same thing. It's just you're counting on people not remembering. That's it. But this is why this show exists. And this is why this show gets hate. Because I'm the regulator. I'm going to be like, nope. Lies. Shh, nope. Bullshit. Here's the proof. Here's the proof. Shh, back to the internet. Fuck that guy. That's what it is. I thought BBKs were good, though. Knew a dude who put SVE rear only on his 10-speed. It was going slower than stock 10 speeds. Jacob Haggard says, I still remember watching the show for the first time. Everything changed. I couldn't enjoy local car meets. And that's the problem, right? And look, I wish you guys could enjoy the hobby. My goal is not to make you hate the hobby. My goal is to make you see through the bullshit of the hobby. But the problem is the bullshit of the hobby starts at the top. Parts companies. That's where it starts. They start lying to you because they need to sell a product. Remember, Ford's not going to say, the new F-150, it's all right. No, they're going to say it's the best thing since sliced bread. Number one, best selling, best performance, best quality, job number one, assembled in America because you don't understand words. Made in Mexico, assembled in America. Parts manufacturer. Well, ProCharger S650 runs a number. Whipple S650 runs a number. So did the S550. As a matter of fact, arguably, the manual S550 is quicker than any manual S650. And the 10R80 version runs the same number. Literally the same number than S550s. And over 1100 wheel, give me that 6R80. Over 1100 wheel, give me that 6R80. Fuck a 10R. Ted Manuel says, finally catching a live. What's up, brother? How you doing? What Mustang is smoking a Gen 1 Coyote? What Mustang is smoking a Gen 1 Coyote full bolt-on at a dig? Gen 2 or Gen 3? Gen 3 will do it pretty easily. Bolt-on? Full bolt-on? You can go 10... Well, it depends. The solid rear axle has so many advantages, but so does the IRS. It all depends on the type of race you're racing. I love a stick shift Gen 1 car. Stick shift Gen 1 car is freaky fast. 373s, MT82 that doesn't blow up, TVS, and you get that sucker to grip, it's going to 60 foot real well. If you have a 10R80 car that also 60 foots well, it's going to be hard to beat also. Good converter, blah, 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 blah. So it all depends on how you configure the car. I love my Ling Longs. What the fuck? No Five Guys in Riviera? No. Badger. I'm talking as if you were in the 956 and you went to a Whataburger with VMSs. Keep up. Does the new Roush blower handle heat better than the past? Phoenix weather ain't no joke. Which blower? Brute force. There is the Magnuson intercooler on top version. Then there's the Roush blower with the rotors on top version. So if I have 16 throttle bodies on my car, I'll make 16 times the power. Speaking of max effort, I see that thrown around a bunch. What is max effort? Okay, let's define max effort. A Whipple car on a stock 10R80, stock bottom end, with ID 1700s and 20 pounds of boost is not max effort. 30 PSI, twin turbo, 1500 plus horsepower is max effort. Because after that, it's, again, are we talking stock bottom end? Stock bottom end, stock bottom end. It's like you're basically bolting on a blower, bolting on a turbo kit, and hoping for the best, and you're kind of stuck at 1100. Like, and people don't understand when I say 1,000 horsepower Coyote is not reliable. Means you live at 1,000. Your boost controller never sees under 20 PSI. Watt hit after watt hit. It's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. So, a lot of people don't understand when I say 1,000 horsepower Coyote is not reliable. I mean at 1,000 horsepower. Not on wastegate, stupid. So, max effort to me is everything. All billet stuff, Billy Badass, motor built to the max, biggest injector you can get, best fuel system, the whole 9 yards. That's max effort. Everything. The Grey Goose is max effort. I went to a car meet here on the coast of Mississippi, and all these motherfuckers were talking about how fast a Honda Civic is with a cold air. Never again. Yeah, you got to understand, like, you cannot enjoy meets the more you go. The more you go to car meets and the more you know, the less you enjoy things. Relationships are the same way. The more you know women, the less you want to be around them, except for y se acabó el party. The more you experience, you're like, I think I just want to have a side piece and then have my piece when I'm not with my side piece. Kyle Lotz has heard 5 guys and said yes. Yeah, that guy's the biggest homo I've ever seen in my life. He leans into it too, thinking it's funny. No, we know you're goofy. Wait until something comes out about the weird parties your guys are having over there and the weird going to Philippines. Man, it'll come out. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. You'll see. I got my Gen 1 manual 2 weeks and am super impressed with it. Boost coming in the spring. Can we also get these jokers that mod for mod a 10 speed will always beat a 6 manual? People are delusional. Can we also tell these jokers that mod for mod, a 10-speed will always beat a 6 manual transmission? People are delusional. I don't know what you're saying there. Can you clarify that? It could be taken both ways. Hey, yo. These 1200 horsepower builds are what I was alluding to on Peasant Chat also. Haven't been to a meet in legit months. Had an argument with a coworker about unopened LS for Coyote. He swore LS can hang. LS cannot hang over 800 horsepower. 800 horsepower, any LS starts to puke its guts out with a stock cam. Max effort equals BBKs. Intercooler on top, Roush S650. Intercooler on top, Magnuson S650 does extremely well. PK Auto made 900 through a 10R80, 930, 940 on 16, 17 PSI. That's impressive. Max effort is pizza on a leaf. Man, bro, your references are on point. I think that hurt her feelings. The pizza on a leaf comment. Smasher says, I must be lucky. Most of the car meets I go to, it's a mix of old fogies, racers, and normies, no racers. You want to hear something crazy? You make fun of the Corvette guy. You make fun of the guy with the jorts. You make fun of the guy with the New Balances. You make fun of the guy. Those guys are more in tune to what you are into than the racers. If you go to a meet, it's usually full of racers with their mom's Honda Accord or their Altima. Then you go to a meet with a bunch of Corvette assholes or old school Camaro guys, and you're like, fuck, I'm one of the old guys. I agree more with the jorts New Balance guy than with the Honda kid. Max effort is ropa vieja. Damn. There ain't a party like a Diddy party. Alex, you should make a series on going local car meets, questioning people on why they mod their car the way they did. Well, funny you say that. Every one Thursday a month, I'm gonna start not doing the chat, and I'm gonna go to the Fox Body meet that happens in Miami, and a bunch of new cars show up. That is you want to talk about guys that know shit and built nice shit, and most of them are Lujan builds or high-end home-built Fox Body guys. I'm going to start going to that Miami meet because I got invited to go. And I want to talk to the guys and I want you guys to get to know these guys. I want them to be part of the channel, meaning they know that guy, just like Donnie. Donnie gets a Magnuson blower on his truck. That thing's going to be running tens pretty quick, and we're going to be featuring Donnie all over again, and we're going to have an F-150 supercharged 24 F-150 on the channel. I think that'll be great, and we're working with Magnuson, see if we work something out. I think we're close to a deal to get Donnie and Magnuson. I think that'd be great. And again, I would have 100% control of the content so that Magnuson can get some play out of that situation. So I'm hoping to help them out with that situation. Radioactive Fabrication with the $20. Thank you so much. What are the issues with tuning the Holly intake manifold for Coyotes? They leak. Real simple. They leak. Done. Glass Roof, thank you so much for the money. Appreciate you guys. Radioactive and Glass Roof. I stepped away from the game back in 2019 in Los Angeles. The takeovers were ridiculous. Then BLM riots came through along with the COVID. Sold the 5-0 for a better life in Texas. Good for you. Old dudes can at least talk some technical shit. Can we ban the dudes who spam the chat with the same gay questions that the chat answers over and over? Shit's annoying. Look, sometimes we need some entertainment, and if those guys are in there and we can actually, believe it or not, the amount of people that talk or chat versus the people that just sit back and listen, it's sit back and listens is 3-1. The ghost watchers, there aren't 344 people commenting at the same time. So there's probably 200 people going, I'm chilling. I just want to listen. I just want to be entertained. And sometimes if you have a normie question that I grab and answer and expand upon, it'll help some of the guys that are normie ghost watchers. So I don't mind the people coming in here that are new. You can't shun people. There are people that have come into this channel that are new and probably asked the same silly question that you and I have answered for 5 or 6 years straight. But sometimes you have to just sit there and go, let's just answer the question and not make fun of everybody. Because if you make fun of everyone that comes in, they're never going to be courageous enough to ask a question. You know what I'm saying? I hope you know what I'm saying. Our daytime meets are okay, but night meets are horrible. Fox Body Meet Miami? Where, man? I'm not going to tell you. SGMP funds? Thank you. I was saying there are people who are constantly saying they're beating 10 speeds in their 6-speed manuals. And I'm just clarifying, mod for mod, a 10-speed is faster. That's all. Nope. You're 100% wrong on that. Mod for mod. Stock 6-speed versus a stock 10R80. I put my money on the manual. Now, you put a tune on it, changes everything. But you can't say mod for mod. That's not the right thing to say, because you can't mod a manual the same way you mod an auto. But I understand what you're saying. Auto needs a converter, a tune, exhaust, an E85, and it's an 11.5, 11.4 car in good weather. The manual needs a CJ, E85 headers, 373s, axles, it needs more. But it's because of the gear ratio. But I understand what you're saying. You're not 100% wrong, but mod for mod, the less mods, the more favors the manual transmission. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for hanging out. This channel provides a wealth of knowledge. I really appreciate it. It says KI_. Or there are weirdos in this chat, like the guy who had the Charlie Kirk screen handle. That was weird. That's weird. I understand what he was trying to do. He's trying to be funny, but too soon. Sometimes you got to have a little, class, I guess. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Again, today is the last day if you are a member or a Patreon subscriber to win the Magnuson 2650 rear feed Amory blower. I'm going to get the people who applied, which is, after whittling it down, there was like 30 people that applied, but the ones that qualify were about 10. And then I'll have to go through them one by one. Tomorrow, I'll announce, or Thursday, I'll get one of those little turning things, or I'll put them in a hat and just pick it from a hat, whatever you guys suggest, because I'm sure you guys are going to be like, oh, favoritism, Bryson is going to get it. Look, you're a follower, subscriber. Someone's going to get something. One will win a blower. The other two will win some goody stuff from richprince.com/YDB. So if you have a GT500, 07 to 14, you're a member for at least a year or a Patreon sub, apply. Say, hey, Alex, look at this. I got this. Check him out. Check me out. Make a video. And then what we'll do is we'll pick out of a hat the top 3. And then those top 3 will end up being voted on Patreon for over, I want to keep the voting up for probably a week just to get some good content out of that. And may the best man win, because Patreon is full of people that are not really into favoritism. They see the applications, they see the people that applied, and they'll be able to make a decision based on, people that pay and have skin in the game. Because on YouTube, you can easily skew the voting. So I'm trying to keep it tight on Patreon. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Thursday. YDBT Daily. Again, tomorrow you might see some of these guys testing. Lund Racing might test. Craig Walls might test. It's not going to be aired on Flow Racing until the 6th. So Friday is when I'll start probably watching some of the qualifying passes and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for the Lunds, maybe posting a video running quicker than 650. Craig Walls, hopefully he's posting a video, and I want to see that car going down the track with the Amory logo on it. I think it'll be fun as shit. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Thursday. See you later. Bye.